Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for DogWifHat. Now, the overnight action leads me to believe that the correction was complete, and I entered a long here. Just wanted to show you the setup for that in a moment. But first of all, on our larger trend in blue, we had a wave 1 and a 2. Our wave 2 came between the 50 and the 618 as expected. We then had our 1 and 2 of 1 lesser degree. We had the same retracements between the 50 and the 618. We then took off for our third wave, came past the 1.618 to around the 1.786. We had a very shy retracement for our fourth. We were waiting for that flat to fill out. We did get it. It was just really shy. And now we're impulsing to the upside. So targets for this and why I jumped in quickly was the risk reward was there. We were invalidating the triangle and we went against guidelines for a flat. So at this point, I decided to enter. I put my stop at the last pivot. And currently targets, I think this is going to be pretty impulsive personally, but I took our wave 1, the length of our wave 1, off my proposed current wave 4, targeting the 1-to-1 extension, and that is at 492. And you can see that lines up with our 497 for the 1.618 for our third wave in blue. So let me just adjust that here. I'm going to make a Bitcoin video today too, because obviously a lot depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin collapses, then it's going to take everything with it, and this might go against guidelines and still be in a fourth wave. But I also have a scenario where Bitcoin just goes from here. It's getting very close to invalidation as well. So I need to consider the alternatives that we're not going to get that retracement that we're waiting for. But right now, target is at 492 with equality with wave 1. Length of wave 1 off of wave 4. All right, I'm going to go down to the 15-minute on MEXC where I'm tracking it. I was tracking a lot of things here. You'll see that in a moment. But first of all, this was our third wave. We had our small wave 1, 2, a wave 1 and a 2 of a lesser degree. We then extended to the 1.618. Made a running triangle. Our fifth came past the 2.618. We then had a very shy retracement and we made a diagonal for our fifth. Came to the 1, just past the 1-to-1 extension of 1 through 3 off 4. And this was the area we've been tracking ever since. We didn't expect it to get away from us very quickly, which it didn't. We were looking for our 618 to the 1-to-1 in time of this entire wave to the upside, which we were right in that zone yesterday. So unless we go against guidelines and get that Y wave to the downside. So I'll show you what we were tracking. This one's invalidated. We were tracking a triangle here as one option. That one's been invalidated. So I'm going to get rid of that correction. I like to put those on beforehand just to show us the possibilities so you're not missing anything. The other alternative was this is all we got. And this was our fourth wave, which is a possibility. Just want to be clear because this can be a diagonal. Is this a diagonal 1, 2 in the fifth? Very possible. But what I don't like about that is it went against guidelines. We're expecting a 618 to the 1-to-1 in time. So this isn't invalidated. It just goes against guidelines. This does look like a potential diagonal. Second alternative is this was our Y wave here. It just came up very shy. And if I go on linear scale, you know my minimum requirement is the 618. We came right between the 618 and the 1-to-1. So I would consider this one the more likely, but both are possible. We'll have to see what reaction we get over here if this thing just starts trending. As you know, our highest probable area for our X or B wave there is between the 1.236 and the 1.382 extension of this A or W wave. And now we're through that. So again, we're going against guidelines. So when we go against guidelines, we flip that. The correction is complete, right, for trading purposes. Now, just to be clear, that doesn't mean that this can't pop up just as a small ABC, stop at the 1.618, and then we get a matching leg here. Very possible. But by that point, we'll be out of time guidelines. So you can see we're getting a lot of conflicting information. So when that's the case, I just go with its most logical guidelines. And right now, the most logical to me is this WXY complete between our time constraint. On linear, we did hit targets between the 618 and the 1-to-1, and it appears we're reversing currently, as you can see. So based on that evidence, that's where I took this trade setup. I just bought above this level here of the 1.382, and my stop is at the previous low. Very tight entry. You just bought right here, stop at this low. Now I might have to adjust that if we don't start moving quickly here, because obviously a lot depends on the reaction here. I'm expecting this to impulse, so if it doesn't impulse, then something's wrong, right? But we're getting about a 7-to-1 on that one. And fully realizing that just at this 1.618, we could reject back and make our WXY finally, or ABC. And one reason I suggested that's not really a plausible scenario is if we would have to be making a ABC here as our B wave, and minimum requirement for that is the 0.618, right, as per our guidelines, which is above the 1.618. It would invalidate our B wave, unless we just got like one reversal candle and we didn't close above. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. I decided to take that entry just because of those guidelines we went against. This does look like the best scenario here is WXY, keeping in mind if we really get bullish here that this could be our wave 1 and 2 as a diagonal, very short fourth wave. So unclear. We will get the count once the price action comes in, obviously, but until then, I'll pull some fibs off this level, see if we get the 1.618. If we do, then that's likely a 1-2. But if we just come up here and make a small 1-2 and it drags out, we'll reevaluate. But as of right now, I am long. Stop at this low at 218.64. Reason being because we can reject from here and make this wave. I don't want to give it much room in case we get that spike and take out all these long stops there, because there's a lot of people long from this area, including myself. All right, guys, so that's it for DogWifHat. If you have any questions, please let me know. But this seems to be the best count for me. It goes with the time guidelines. It does meet minimum requirements. And this would be a flat X wave, and then we have a zigzag ABC. So flat and a zigzag. All right, so we'll see if this keeps pumping. I'm going to make a Bitcoin video as well because that's very important, and I'll see you on the next one.